Welcome back to another episode of Talk About Games. Hot off the heels of our last VR endeavor, we're going to be taking a look at another VR title that I've been spending a little time with lately. Now, I haven't really played the game enough to really consider this a review of the game, so think of it more of a first impressions. Without further ado though, let's take a look at Catch and Release on the PlayStation VR. Catch and Release, first and foremost, is a fishing simulator. Sort of. I mean, you are simulating fishing on a lake, but I wouldn't say it's hardcore realistic like most simulations are. On the other hand, however, it isn't really an arcade-style game either, so let's just call it a game where you fish. During your time on the lake, there's a list of tasks you can perform that advance the game. By looking in your fishing log, you can see a list of objectives to partake in. These range from going to specific locations on the lake to catching certain types of fish. Once all objectives are complete, you'll be given a new set of tasks to keep you going. Your fishing log also gives you information on all the different types of fish available in the lake, including what types of environment they're commonly found in and what kind of bait they prefer. For example, the Thusian lives in open waters and high oxygen levels. It also prefers maggots, worms, and smelly bait. So opening our tackle book, we can see that the cheese bait's good for fish with strong smells, therefore this is an appropriate bait to try and catch the Thusian. While we're in our tackle book, this is a good time to go over the other things purchasable while you're fishing. You can obtain stones used for skipping across the water, sandwiches and different kinds of beverages such as beer, soda, and lemonade, all sorts of different baits like cheese and worms, different fishing rods, radios, a scale, an upgraded fishing box, and an array of clothing such as gloves and hats. Plenty of these items can be used to occupy your time while waiting for the fish to take the bait. Eating sandwiches and drinking soda is certainly entertaining, but my favorite way to pass time while waiting for fish to take the bait is to choose one of the 4 available radio stations and skipping rocks across the lake. You can also discover animals living their animal lives as you're boating around the lake. In this event, you can use the camera to snap a photo and keep it for your records. Unfortunately, during my time playing, I hadn't accumulated enough money to purchase the camera, so I can't show it off. Now that we've gone over pretty much everything else that the game has to offer, let's take a look at the actual fishing portion of the game. With the exception of changing perspective while your bobber's already in the water, at least while you're holding your fishing rod, the fishing's actually fairly fluid honestly, and it's a lot of fun. It's as easy as putting on your chosen bait, pulling back, and casting your line. Then we just have to wait for a fish to take a bite, and the battle begins. Once you have a fish on the line, you want to be mindful of how the fish is pulling as you reel it closer towards you. If you feel the rod's being pulled too tightly, you want to give some slack to the line to avoid the line breaking and losing your fish. Patience is the name of the game when it comes to catching fish both small and large. Once you've reeled in your fish, there's a couple things you're going to want to do. First, you're going to want to weigh your fish on the scale. If you look at the fishing guide, it'll tell you at the bottom of the fish's page the appropriate weight for selling or releasing the fish. If you choose to sell the fish, you can pick it up and place it in your cooler. Closing the cooler will sell the fish. If you choose to release your fish, you just have to throw it back into the water. If the money you receive for the fish appears in green, it means you made the right decision. However, if it shows up in yellow instead, it means you could have made more money by choosing the other option. And that's really what Catch and Release has to offer for the time being. Hopefully the game continues to be updated with new content, at least for a little while, but honestly I don't think I'd be too upset if it didn't. In the end, I think that Catch and Release really hit the mark with its goal. Hit the lake, do some fishing. It really doesn't need to be any more than that. It's an experience, and a pretty fun one at that. And that's really all I had to talk about for Catch and Release, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll see you all next time, but until then.